Hey everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and in this video I'm going to be doing another Cricut Design Space tutorial, and this is part of course 301 Titles and Journaling, and it's lesson 2 Dimensional Titles. So for this lesson I did break this up into 4 parts, and if you would like to skip ahead to any of these parts, just go to the description below and click on the link. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we need to do is find a title. So I'm going to go over here and click on Images. That's going to bring up all of the images available in Cricut Design Space. But I want to just find the ones that are titles. So I'm going to go up to the search box and type in the word title and then click on this magnifying glass, and that's going to search through everything that's in the Cricut Design Space library. And we're going to get a whole bunch of different titles here. Now all of these titles are very simple and they're one layer. They don't have multiple layers. Now to do a three-dimensional title, we really need to have an image that has multiple layers. So I'm going to go over here and click on layers, and I'm going to filter out my search results and find only the titles that are multi-layered. And now you can see that we have all of these titles. These are really fun. There's lots of summer titles and other holidays like 4th of July. There's Easter and spring and Valentine's Day. And they just really have some cute things here. But I'm looking for a title for a pool picture. I'm actually scrapbooking a couple of pictures of my niece in the pool. And I thought that this title right here that says "Cool in the Pool" with the little beach balls would be super cute. So that's the title that we're going to be creating. So I'm going to click on the title and then click on Insert to insert it into my project. Okay, and that's going to take us to part 2. Okay, so now that we've selected the image, the next thing you want to do is to customize it. And we want to do this before the next step because we're going to make a copy. And you don't want to have to make changes to multiple copies. So in this step, we're going to be changing the colors and also the size. Now, if you're okay with the colors and the size of the image, you can just skip this part and go to the next part. But I wanted to make this a little bit larger, and I also wanted to change the colors to make this match my paper. I'm using some paper from the Cartabella Summer Splash collection. Okay, so first let's change the size of the image, and right now it is 3 inches tall by 4 and a little bit over 4¼ inches wide. And I think I want to make this about 5½ inches wide. So I'm going to go up here where it says size, and I'm just going to enter in 5.5 for the width. And as soon as I do that, you'll see here that it automatically adjusts the height. Now that's because I have this locked and the proportions are locked. That means that when you change the height, it's automatically going to change the width. And if you change the width, it's automatically going to change the height. Okay, so now that we've changed the size, let's go ahead and change some of the colors. So let's take a look at the layers panel over here. You can see these are all the layers that it's going to cut out. And there's just a lot of different stuff here. And if we were to click on Make It right now, we would have to load all these different colors of paper or cardstock onto 9 different mats in order to create this title. And so what we're going to do is going to be a little bit simpler than this. I'm going to go ahead and click on Cancel. Let's go ahead though and work on customizing some of the colors. Okay, so the first thing that I want to change in this image is the color green. There's only this one green O, and there's nothing else in the image that's green, which I thought was a little strange. So I want to change this L and make it green. So I'm going to scroll down here in the layers panel and find the L. I'm going to click on that, and then we're going to go up here under line type, and there's a little box here. We're going to click on that box, and that's where you change the colors. Now at the top there's all of these different colors. These are the colors that are currently used in the project, and at the bottom are additional colors that you could select. I want to make that L the same color as the O, so I'm going to pick this green because I know that green is currently part of my project. and that will change my L and make it green. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to change in this image was the beach ball. This orange beach ball is just a little bit dull. I want to make it pop a little bit more, and I'm going to make it red and white. So we're going to go over to the layers panel and find the beach ball. And these are the three pieces of the beach ball. There's an orange background color, there's the yellow stripe, and then there's this little red dot at the top. So the first thing I want to do is to make the background color white. So I'm going to click on that orange circle and we're going to select white. And that's going to change the background of that ball to white. Next I'm going to pick out the stripes and I want to change that to red. So I'm going to pick the red here. And you can see now that my beach ball is a red and white beach ball. But I want to kind of change that little circle up there at the top and make it stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to click on this little circle here and change that to orange. And I really love how that looks, and so that's really cute. Now I did spend a lot of time going through here and changing up all of the colors, because now that I've made my beach ball red and white, you can see here that now I have this O that is red, and I really didn't want that, so I changed that O. I can't remember to what color, but I changed all the colors up. I also matched the blue colors to the paper that I was using. And so I'm not going to go through and show you all of that here in this tutorial, because it's just more of the same, clicking on the layer, then finding the color that you want to change it to, and changing the colors. Now I did do a Cricut tutorial on print and cut and making that custom colors. If you want to find out how to match your project perfectly and create custom colors in Cricut Design Space, I will leave a link to that video in the description below and you can check that one out. Okay, so now that we have our image customized and we have all our colors changed and we also have the image the size that we want it to be, we're ready to move on to the next part. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to turn this image into a print and cut. And if we look at the layers panel, you can see that all of these pieces would be cut out. They're not going to be printed first and then cut. And if we click on make it, you can see that we would have to load all of these different mats with different colors of cardstock or paper, and then have the Cricut cut that out for us. That's not really what we want. So we're going to click on cancel here. And to turn this into a print and cut, you're going to want to select the image and then go down here to where they have this toolbar, and we're going to select this tool called the flatten tool. And when you click on that, it's going to flatten your image and it's going to turn it into a print and cut. And you can see up here we now only have one layer and it's a print and cut layer. If we click on make it at this point, we're going to see just one image that will print out and then the Cricut will cut around it. That's not exactly what we want, but it is the first step in turning this into a three-dimensional title using print and cut. So that's going to take us to the next part. Okay, so now that we have this turned into a print and cut, we need to add the layers back in so that we can make this title dimensional. So I'm going to click on cancel here and we're going to go back to the screen, and I'm going to mention one thing first is if you didn't intend to flatten your title and you want to reverse this change, you can always go up here to this undo and click on undo, and that will turn it back into layers that are just cut only. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and flatten this again by clicking on the image, and then we're going to click flatten down here at the bottom. That is going to turn this into a print and cut. Okay, so now we want layers. So how do we do that? We're going to go ahead and click on unflatten. So once an image has been flattened, you can unflatten it, which is awesome, because when you unflatten it, it turns all those layers into print and cut. So now we have every single piece here would print first and then cut out. And if we click on make it, you can see that now it will print out all of our individual pieces in all the different colors. And all we would need to do is print this on our printer, then load that piece of printed paper onto our Cricut mat, put it into the Cricut, and it would cut out all these pieces for us. And you can see there's going to be two different pages. We would have to do this mat right here that has all these layers, and then we would do a second mat. I believe this is white, which is why you don't really see anything. That's like the background layer. Okay, so I'm going to click cancel here and go back to the screen. Okay, you could go ahead and just make this project and skip this next step, but I like to do this next step because it makes it much easier when you go to put all the pieces together. And that is to create a template or a go-by to actually build this three-dimensional title. So what we're going to do first is make a copy of the image. So I'm going to click on the image, and then to make a copy, we're going to go up here to this toolbar and click on duplicate. That's going to make a copy of the image. And now we have two images, and I'm just going to kind of scooch these over so you can see both of them at the same time. Now the other thing that I want to do is I want to just work with the image over here first. And so I want to make sure that the other image that I'm not working with is collapsed so I don't get confused. Let's see. Okay, see, I already got confused. Okay, so I want to work on this image over here, which is this one. Okay, so we don't want to accidentally change the wrong image, so that's why I like to collapse the image, because otherwise it could get really confusing. What we're going to do is we're going to take away some of the different layers, and then we're going to flatten the image, just the white part, to use as a template. So let's go ahead and get rid of the two blue background layers, and that's the light blue background and then this medium blue background. And we're going to eliminate those two by just clicking on the eye in each one of those layers. Oops, I did the wrong one. I didn't mean to do the white one. I'm going to put that one back. We're going to get rid of this darker blue layer and the lighter blue layer. And now what we have left is just a white layer with all of these different little pieces on top of it. Now I also want to get rid of these two water droplets, so I'm going to go back up here to the top, and I'm going to eliminate these three pieces here, which is that one blue water droplet, and that's the lighter blue one. Now you can see that one's gone. I also want to get rid of this darker blue one, and I'm going to go ahead and unhide that one. Now if you do accidentally hide something that you didn't intend to hide, you could just click it again and it'll come back. Okay, so the other part of the water droplet, which is white, is way down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to hide that one as well. Okay, so now that we have everything hidden that we want to not have in our template, I'm going to click on this image here, and then we're going to click on flatten, and that will flatten the image and turn it into one layer. And so we can now use this as the template for how to put this together. Okay, now we need to do one more thing here, and that is to go over to this image here, and we're going to click on this arrow to show all the different images, and we're going to take away the one white layer, which is this layer right here, because we don't need to print that. We're going to use this one in place of the white layer, and so we're just going to eliminate that. So when we're putting this together, when we go to put the different layers together, we're going to put this one here that we flattened that has all of the different pieces on it in place of the white layer, and then we're going to layer all of the different pieces on top of that. It's going to make it so much easier to put this title together. Okay, so now that we have all of our changes done, we can click on Make It, and we can go ahead and print and cut this out. And you can see here all of the different pieces that it's going to print and cut. And here is the second page. Now you'll notice here on the first page that we have this piece. Now this is going to be our template. So instead of having that white piece that was just plain white, we're going to use this piece instead. Okay, so I did use this title in a scrapbook layout, and I'm going to use the video footage from when I put that together to show you how you can put this title together. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we have all the pieces cut out, we can start to put this together. And I'm going to take the template that we had created and apply some liquid glue to the back of it. I'm using the art glitter glue, and I really like this glue a lot, but I'm finding that my bottle is getting clogged. I recently switched to using the Barely Art glue, and I like it so much better. It's very similar to the art glitter glue, but I love the bottle that it comes in. And if you're interested in finding out more about the Barely Art glue, I will put a link in the description below to that glue. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue that onto this light blue piece, and that's going to create the base for our title. And the next thing that we're going to do here is just take all these little pieces and apply glue to the back, and just go ahead and line those up right onto this template. And the awesome thing about creating the template is that you can use that as a guide to build this title, and you'll know that everything is in the right place and it's going to line up perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to build the beach balls next. I'm going to take the stripes and put them onto the ball and then find the little dot and apply that to the top. So you'll notice that I didn't glue the beach ball to the title, and that's because I'm going to be adding foam tape to some of the pieces. I just want to give it a little bit more dimension. You don't have to add the foam tape. You can still just glue all of the pieces on and it would still have some dimension. It's just adding the foam tape makes it pop even more. Okay, so I'm going to finish gluing all of these letters onto the title. I did pop up a couple of the water droplets on this title as well. And I want to show y'all some close-ups, but I also wanted to talk about one other thing that I did just to make this title even more special. And that was that I added some glossy accents on top of the water droplets and also on the stripes for the beach ball. And it really added a fun special effect to this title. I also did put together the little water droplets and I added those to a couple of different places on my layout. Now I wanted to go ahead and share some close-ups of the title and also the layout, so stick around for that. But that's all I have for this video, so I hope y'all had fun with this and that you'll create your own three-dimensional titles using your Cricut and the print and cut feature. And I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up because that helps me and YouTube know which videos y'all like to watch. And if you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe. I would love to have you join my channel. So that's all I have, so y'all take care and hope to see you next time. Bye now.